Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles which appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. First of all, we are going to see the topics of the list, and later on we are going to see each and every part of an article, like how you can expect a prelims, mains and as well as interview question. And at last I'll be giving you the prelims practice question. So I want to share one of my experience. I don't know whether you can recall this or not. In one of my Hindu classes, I said that I asked certain questions in a mock interview for a person related to the aircraft. Deputy CM of Maharashtra had been died in this air crash. On that day itself, one guy came for a mock interview with a certificate course of aerospace. Can you recall that thing? So I asked a question related to that aeroplanes itself, designing of aeroplanes, and how can we prevent this kind of aeroplane crashes. Yesterday, his final interview has been done in Delhi, and he sent interview transcript. And in that transcript, he mentioned that question, ma'am, whatever the question you asked in my mock interview, the same question reflected. So here, in this way, whatever we are telling here is appearing in the final examination one or other way. And one thing here is, many students will go for at least 10 to 15 mock interviews in their time, whatever the time they have. And reflecting of the mock interview question, the final interview will be very, very rare. So whatever I'm teaching in the class, that is reflecting the final interviews. So try to prepare in this way so that you will be having a good idea like how interview questions will be and how you have to answer that kind of questions. From now onwards, try to develop that kind of perspectives. Okay. Yeah, now let us see the topics of the day. The first one is BNP secures landslide victory in Bangladesh. Finally, elections had been done in this Bangladesh, and BNP secures a landslide victory. And what is the full form of this BNP? Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So here you have to see who is the leader from that Bangladesh Nationalist Party, because Khaleda Zia, she died. So who is the leader from this party? You need to know at least the name. Why? Because from now onwards that name will be reflecting in the newspaper. Why? Because whenever we are talking about India-Bangladesh relations, now this name will be appearing in the news, so that you have to know about that name. And next one here is, earlier we used to have Awami League, but now BNP party. The problem with this BNP is it is related to this pro-China kind of political party. That means in future, whatever the foreign policy that we are going to design with Bangladesh, that has to align with this BNP party. Then only we can maintain good relations with this India and Bangladesh. Okay, so here what you have to see is exactly what are the challenges we are going to get in the future because of this change of political party in another country. So actually what happens in international relations is, some political parties, they are favor to India, some political parties, they are against India. If that political party which is favor to India come into power means, obviously we can expect a good relation. But if any political party, if it is against India which come into power means, obviously it will be troubling India. And with Bangladesh, we have to be very, very cautious, because we are sharing boundary with this Bangladesh, and we are having lots of challenges with Bangladesh. So how we are going to overcome these challenges in future in this difficult political party? So those things that we have to think. Why? Because you are also going to write IFS exam, Indian Foreign Service. If you are placed in this embassy of Bangladesh, then you have to channelize, you have to mediate between India and Bangladesh. So you have to be diplomatic. Okay, clear? And this topic is important from international relations from GS paper 2. And I will be telling you how the questions can be asked from this area. In our yesterday's class, we discussed, not yesterday's, day before yesterday's, I guess, we discussed that it is not only election, they are going for referendum. What is that referendum is about? July Charter. Can you recall that? We discussed about what is July Charter. On that, they asked people to vote yes or no. What is this July Charter is about? They want to establish a new Bangladesh, and this July Charter is about coming up of constitutional reforms, judicial reforms, administrative reforms in Bangladesh. Why they came up with this? Because of 2024 student protest in Bangladesh. Who came up with this July Charter or July Declaration? Yunus. You may get a possible question on this July Charter and even referendum. In your polity, Lakshmikant, you can see this referendum word. It is an example of direct democracy tool. So I'll tell you how the question can become in your prelims. Okay. And next topic is India believed that Panchsheel Pact settled border with China, says CDS. So here you have to see certain keywords. First one is CDS, second one is Panchsheel. So what is the CDS? Chief of Defence Staff. On this, already UPSC asked a question related to this post of Chief of Defence Staff. Again, you have to know about some basics related to who is this Chief of Defence Staff. And in your international relations, you will come across this Panchsheel Pact. You have to know basics of this Panchsheel. And you have to know why Jawaharlal Nehru came up with this Panchsheel. Even the post-independence India also, whenever you're studying about the wars, you will be coming across this Panchsheel. Especially in 1954, this Panchsheel came into existence. So you'll be reading about that in your even post-independence. But you may get a prelims-based question related to this. I'll tell you how and how many types. And again, this topic is important from international relations and even from your geography from GS paper 1. And next topic is CJI's office received 808,630 complaints against judges. If there is any complaint related to the normal public or politicians or officers, will file a case and that cases will be dealt by our courts. We have district courts, we have high court and we have Supreme Court, right? Then here this article is talking about complaints against judges. If there are any complaints related to the judges, how the court is going to be tackling that case. We have a separate committee to see this kind of complaints related to judges. You have to know what is that committee, who will be the member, what is the process and what is the process of removal of judges. So this topic is at most, and even you can expect a prelims based question from this, complaints related to judges, and you may get a question related to this in-house mechanism. Why this in-house mechanism? Recently, you know about one High Court judge, Allahabad High Court judge, his name is Yashwant only, right? Yeah, so there is an issue related to the Yashwant and that case had been dealt in this in-house mechanism. So again, one report which is saying that there is increased number of cases against judges. There is a very high chance of getting question related to this in-house mechanism. Okay, you have to know about that. And I'll be telling you how the question can be framed. And this is very important from your polity from GS paper 2. And next article, it is about a decisive mandate. It is related to again India-Bangladesh relations itself, about Bangladesh elections, and we are going to see those two together. Our next topic is India-Thailand Air Force exercise. Okay, as I said, if you are getting any exercise in the news, you have to know about that. There is a very high chance of getting question. You may get pair-based question. And next topic is overdue upgrade. So this article is talking about new CPI series. So yesterday class we discussed that, but in detail we are going to discuss because now in today's newspaper there is one editorial released on that. So here we have to see how many items exactly. You need to know which items were added and which items were deleted, and in detail about this new CPI series. And from this also you may expect a prelims and as well as mains based questions. So these all are the topics that we are going to discuss in this class. Okay, see the title guys. BNP secures landslide victory in Bangladesh. Okay. First one is BNP party, that is nothing but Bangladesh Nationalist Party. And next one here is, it is talking about Bangladesh elections. And if you see these three important lines which are given here, they are saying that 60.2% of voters backed democratic reforms in a national referendum, says Election Commission. That means regarding the July Charter, which we talked in our earlier class, around 60% of voters said that yes, we need to have constitutional reforms. So here that means majority of people, they are asking for constitutional reforms, right? 60.2 is not a small percent. So here in future, after formation of the government in Bangladesh, they can go for constitutional changes, they can go for administrative changes, they can go for electoral changes. Okay, So that is the one important thing. So now I'll tell you how you can expect a question from this area. First one is you're talking about referendum. Referendum is directly given in your polity Lakshmikant, and it is part of direct democratic tools. In this direct democratic tools, we have four. First one is referendum. Second one is plebiscite. I think you might have heard about this plebiscite when you study about integration of princess states topic in your post-independence India. Yes. And we have recall. And one is initiate. There are four tools of this direct democracy. So here the first possible question is, they may ask you pair based question. They'll give you column 1 and column 2. Here they'll be giving those four words: referendum, plebiscite, recall, initiate, and they will write something related to what is it, and how they'll ask how many pairs are correct, which of the following pairs are correct. That is a one possible question. Okay. And second possible question is, now referendum is in news, right? So you may get question only related to referendum. Consider the following statements regarding referendum, and they will give you 3 or 4 statements. So in that statements, what can you expect? First one is what is referendum will be there. Next one is whether it happened in Bangladesh. But if question is occurring in UPSC in India, what they can ask, whether this referendum we used in India or not. If used in India, where we used it? Are you understanding the things? And next one, they may ask about which is the first country. So and so country is the first country to use national referendum. So here we have 2 types of referendum. So here in Bangladesh, they went for national referendum. That means nationwide they went for referendum. So here, which country in the world came up with this first referendum? Or else they may ask about history of referendum. Like that, they will give you 3 to 4 statements. Are you understanding? So in this way, you have to prepare, and in this way, you may get a question. In your prelims, for sure, 100% there will be question related to this direct democratic tools. Keep star mark. Don't miss this at all. Okay, now let us see the context. Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP's landslide victory in 2026 parliament elections, which led to the end of Awami League. Why? Because this Awami League party had been suspended in these elections. So that led to this end of Awami League dominance because of 2024 student-led uprising that ousted Sheikh Hasina. How ousted means nothing but she came out of Bangladesh with a fear of life, losing of life. And now who is the leader of this BNP? Tariq Rahman. Tariq Rahman is incoming Prime Minister. If at all, if we are getting any articles related to India, Bangladesh, our Prime Minister, their Prime Minister, now we can see his name, Tariq Rahman. Okay, Tariq Rahman is nothing but Prime Minister of Bangladesh. You have to be in that mindset from now onwards. You have to forget the Sheikh Hasina and Yunus. Okay, and here this person is going to come up with constitutional reforms, especially what kind of promises he made during this campaigns are farmer loan waivers, job creation, free education for women, and minority protection. Okay, so these are the some campaign related promises he made, and we have to see whether they are going to see that or not, because India is also having interest in this minority protection because Hindus are persecuted in this Bangladesh, and we saw lots of articles related to that. Okay, now if you see about this India's engagement, BNP party is pro-China party. That we know from ages onwards, this BNP party is aligning towards China. So now we have to go for strategic recalibration. We have to again calculate everything, and we have to try to maintain the good relations with this BNP party now. And we have to align towards counter-terrorism operations of this BNP. And even we have to resolve our Tisa water dispute. And we have to go for protection of Hindus, because Hindus are minority in this Bangladesh. That is the one thing that we have to do now. We have to recalibrate, and we have to recalculate the things with Bangladesh. And this one is we have to focus on equality and mutual respect. And we have to engage this Bangladesh as one of our equal partner, and we have to avoid our big brother perception in this region. And next one here is we have to avoid partisanship. And next one is we have to focus on economy and as well as security priorities as well, because we are having issue of cross-border insurgents and even cow vigilantism, cow smuggling, because Muslim countries, they will eat these cows, and India is Hindu country, cows are sacred. What is happening between India and Bangladesh is smuggling of cows. It is also one important issue. We have to have a proper deal with that things also. And next one is obviously we have to protect our minorities. And let us see about referendum. Please focus and please make a note of this referendum. Referendum is an instrument of direct democracy. What happens in this referendum is, what is happening in this Bangladesh? People are coming and people are voting yes or no. That means people, they can vote directly on a particular issue. On which issue they are voting here? July Charter. Are you understanding? So here referendum is an instrument of direct democracy. People, they are directly coming and they are voting related to a particular issue. This phenomena is called as referendum, and it is a form of direct democracy. Okay, and when this referendum got originated, if you trace the history of this referendum, it traced back to ancient Greece, where citizens has to gather in an assembly, and at that time these people, they used to vote on important issue. Okay, ancient period, it goes back to Greece. And in this modern period, in the modern history from 19th century, Switzerland began this referendum. Very important. In ancient times, Greece. In modern times, Switzerland. That too in year 1874, where the first time federal referendum was used. And next important point here is, in 1905, Norway became the first country to hold national referendum. So now in Bangladesh, they went for national referendum. So which country started this? Norway in year 1905. Okay, are you understanding? In modern history or in 19th century, Switzerland is the first country, but it is not a national wide. They went for a certain province. For example, in India, we have many states, 28 states. They went for referendum in Telangana. Like that, first time Switzerland used for federal referendum. But throughout the country, which country went? That is Norway. And after that, recently in Bangladesh, they went for national referendum. Are you understanding? And what is the scope, on which items or on which issues they can go for referendum? First one is constitutional amendments. So now Bangladesh went with this constitutional amendments. And next one is secessionist movements. That means nothing but separatist movements. And next one is major political decisions. For example, Brexit. For Brexit means nothing but Britain exited from European Union in year 2018 and 2019. At that time also they conducted referendum for Brexit. And next one is, if there are any controversial social issues like same-sex marriage, etc., if they want to take the public opinion, they can go for this kind of referendum. So these are the 4 issues on which we can go for referendum. And next one is types. We have mandatory referendum and we have optional referendum. Mandatory is nothing but people has to go for compulsory voting. Optional means if they want, they can, or else they cannot. Okay, now let us see the next article. Look at the title. India believed that Panchsheel pact settled border with China. Say CDS. First important thing, I didn't get any content related to this CDS. So after the class, you have to find out the details of the CDS. CDS full form is Chief of Defence Staff. Our first CDS died in one helicopter crash. Do you know this? His name, anyone? Yes. So he died in helicopter crash, and you have to see till now how many CDS were there and try to write down the names of that CDS. And you have to see about some facts regarding this post. Who will appoint him? What is the tenure? What is the criteria? And what is his roles and responsibilities? Okay, see in detail about the CDS. And here if you see, he is our present CDS and he made certain statements related to this Panchsheel pact. And he is saying that India believed that Panchsheel pact settled border with China, but it is not. The statement given by the CDS is, in 1954, Jawaharlal Nehru, to solve the dispute between India and China, we went for Panchsheel. And at that time, Jawaharlal Nehru thought that this Panchsheel will give solution for India and China border. But even today in 2026 also, are we facing problem with China or not related to this border? He is saying that yes, at that time we believed, but it is wrong perception. Even today also we are having lots of challenges with China. So this Panchsheel pact is not giving the solution between India and China related to the border. Okay, how can you expect a question? And okay, I'll show you one line which is given by this person, so that you have to tell me on which area you can expect a prelims based question. Okay, let us see the context. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan said that independent India was keen on building a good relationship with China. And after independence, that is after 1947, it was for India to decide where the frontiers is. That frontiers is nothing but boundaries of India. And at that time, Jawaharlal Nehru probably knew that we had something like McMahon Line in the east, and we had some kind of claim in Ladakh area, but it was not clearly defined. At that time, he came up with this Panchsheel agreement, and he probably thought that this will give a permanent solution. Now read this statement and tell me how can you expect a prelims based question. What is the word which is highlighted there? Okay, McMahon Line is between? Tell me, do we have any other kind of lines between India and other countries? What are they? Ratcliffe Line between? Ratcliffe Line. India and Pakistan. Durand Line, have you heard this? Between India and which country with which we are sharing land border? Very good. So here you are going to get a question related to these lines, because our Chief of Defence Staff, he himself said that McMahon Line, he mentioned that. That means there is a possibility of getting questions on the other lines also. Are you understanding? Are you getting my point? So here we have McMahon Line. It is between India and China, which is given in this article. We have Durand Line. Actually, on this Durand Line, already UPSC asked a question. Check your PYQs. So there is a very high chance of getting this kind of question. You have to get that kind of perception. Okay, Durand Line is between India and Afghanistan. Next one, Ratcliffe Line. It is between India and Pakistan. Apart from this, we have LAC, we have LOC also. On this also you may get a question, and issue is going on between India and China related to this LAC. LAC is between India and China. What is the full form of LAC? Line of actual control. What is this LOC? Line of control between India and Pakistan. And recently Operation Sindoor is in news. So these lines are very relevant this year. Are you understanding? I don't know you are getting or not, but I want to say clearly. Okay, so if you see about this Panchsheel agreement, it is between India and China. So they are talking about Panchsheel agreement. Do we have any agreements with other countries? This is between India and China. This article is saying that Panchsheel agreement between India and China, and we are sharing borders with different countries on land and even on maritime arena. Do we have similar kind of agreements with other countries? Recall. That is major border related agreements. Have you heard about Shimla agreement between India and Pakistan? So here the major agreements we have to see. Between India and Bhutan, we have India-Bhutan Friendship Agreement. And between India and Nepal, with which we are sharing boundary, we have India-Nepal Peace Agreement. And with Pakistan, we have Shimla Agreement. Okay, and with Myanmar, we have many border related agreements, free trade movement, like that. That is in news, right? So like that, you have to see one more area where UPSC can ask a question is countries and agreements with those countries. Are you understanding? And next, how UPSC can ask a question? Panchsheel they mention directly. They may give about consider the following statements regarding this Panchsheel. So regarding Panchsheel, what can they give? They may ask when it was signed. Yes, between which and which country, and what are the major principles of this Panchsheel? Are you understanding? In that way, you may get statement-based questions in your prelims. Okay? Yes. Now, slide down the date. On 29th April 1954, it was signed between India and China. And Panchsheel means nothing but 5 principles. What are those 5 principles? First one is mutual respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Each country, that is India and as well as China, they have to respect the independence, borders, and territorial unity of others. And next one is mutual non-aggression. They should not use force or military against each other. That is the second point. Third one is mutual non-interference in internal affairs. India should not interfere in Chinese internal affairs. China should not interfere in India's internal affairs. And equity and mutual benefit. And this one is those 2 countries should have peaceful coexistence. These are the 5 major principles of this Panchsheel on which you may get a question. Which of the following are the principles part of Panchsheel? They'll give you 5 or 6. They may ask you which of the above are there. They will mix Shimla agreement related provisions also here. They can give to confuse you. Are you understanding? Okay, that is the thing that you have to remember, guys. Okay, next one. Panchsheel become one of the 10 principles of international peace and cooperation adopted in the Bandung Declaration. Actually, this UPSC have a tendency to ask this kind of agreements were signed at which kind of declaration, which kind of places, which places. So here you have to remember again this. Panchsheel is related to Bandung Declaration of 1955. Okay guys, that's it, not more than that. And here, what are the present challenges we are facing? These are the challenges which are highlighted by the CDS in this article. First one is, we are having perception mismatch. There is no clear-cut boundary between India and China. Why? Because Himalayas are there. They are lofty. The area is unstable and many rivers are moving in this region, and rivers will change the course of direction because of sedimentation, everything. So because of this, there is no clear-cut boundary. Okay, that is a perception mismatch between India and China. And next one is loss of buffer. So actually what happened in this 1954 was we recognized Tibet as a territory of China and we signed this Panchsheel. So if the Tibet was there, do you know the where's location of Tibet was there? So here we have Tibet region. So here this part is China. If Tibet is an autonomous region, if it is an independent country, we used to maintain a buffer between India and China. But this is recognized as a territory of China by India in 1954 itself. So because of this, we are not maintaining any buffer. For example, here you can see which country we have? Bhutan. Here we have China. So Bhutan will be acting as a buffer between India and China. But here, because of this recognition of Tibet as territory of China, we are not maintaining the buffer. That is the second important point. We are lacking buffer, loss of buffer. We lost the buffer. That is a major mistake made by India itself. And next one is undefined frontiers. We don't know what is exactly boundary at this middle sector, eastern sector and western sector. That is the next one. And next one here is there is no proper stability and sovereignty issues. Sovereignty issues are there. Especially we signed this Panchsheel agreement regarding this passes. We have around 6 to 7 important passes which are important for the trade and as well as pilgrimages. So here there is no clear-cut definitions related to this on which provisions we are going to use this pass. Again, that is one dilemma. And next one here is contemporary issues. We know about ongoing LAC issue from past 2020 onwards. There is no complete de-escalation along this LAC region, and some of our Indian parts which are under control of China even today. Which are those regions? PP15. Do you know about what is this PP? Patrolling points. Do you know these patrolling points? What are they? Have you seen movies related to some armies? Okay, even have you seen this movie Sitaramam? In that Sitaramam, in introduction itself, they'll be saying, in that ice area, in one area, we have this army people who will be stationing. So like that, we have very lengthy Himalayas, and we have to secure our borders. If you see, wherever we have this conflict zones, here we have LAC region like that. So here what happens here is, we have certain points where our army people will be stationing and they'll be guarding the borders. Those points are called as PP, patrolling points, and the number is given for them to easy identification. So even today we have this patrolling point number 15 under control of China. Like that, we have certain areas, patrolling point, Demchok Valley region, and Dipsang Plain region. So these are the areas even today which are under the control of China since 2020 onwards. On this also you may get a question. Okay guys, this is about this article, clear? And say this article, CJI's office received 8,630 complaints against judges from 2016 to 2025, says minister. So from this time period, how many years? It is around 9 years. From 9 years onwards, around 9,000. That means every year approximately 1,000 cases. How many days will be there in a year? 365. That means almost around 3 cases per a day they are filed against judges. Is this a grave concern or not? Every day 3 cases means it is not a small. How many judges are there across the country? Including all these subordinate courts, high courts and Supreme Court. What is the strength of Supreme Court? How many high courts are there in India? What is the strength of each high court? How many district courts? Find out the data so that you can understand that this is not a small problem at all. Yes, it is a grave problem. Okay, so recently we know about this Yashwant Allahabad High Court judge case, and what are the allegations made on him? Cash, and even burnt currency had been recovered from his house. Next, other issues, corruption related allegations, etc. So because of this, you may get a question related to this in-house mechanism. At that time also we discussed about in-house mechanism in our current affairs. So very high chance, and it is a high priority area this year. Okay, you have to know in detail about what is this in-house mechanism. Okay, now let us see this article. The Office of Chief Justice of India received 8,630. No need of remembering this number, just for your knowledge I am saying this to understand how this case is important, this issue is important. Against sitting judges in the last decade, says Law Minister. Okay, complaints are managed via Supreme Court's in-house mechanism or in-house procedure. So please make a note. If there are any cases related to judges, if there are any cases related to the judges are managed by in-house procedure. Okay, and what is the specialty of this in-house procedure is, everything is done by judiciary only. There is no interference of executive. Okay, very important point. Everything will be managed by judiciary, but there will be no external influence. Okay, that is a speciality of this. Okay, now let us see here. So here CJI will be handling the complaints against Supreme Court judges, High Court Chief Justice, and as well as High Court Chief Justices will handle the cases against their court judges. Okay, I'll tell you this. What is this? So here we have Supreme Court, here we have High Court. So who is the head of the Supreme Court? CJI. Who is the head of this High Court? Chief Justice of High Court. That is the thing, right? So here CJI will be handling the cases of Supreme Court judges. If there are any charges, if there are any complaints relating to the Supreme Court judges, who will deal? CJI. And if there are any complaints related to the Chief Justice of High Court also, CJI will be dealing with. Okay, and we have Chief Justice of High Court. He will be dealing with the cases of lower courts. Okay, like that they divided the work, because it will be already our Supreme Court, our High Court, they already having the pendency of cases, right? So if they want to deal this extra cases, means they cannot dealt by only CJI. So they are dividing, and you have to be very clear. So CJI will be dealing with Supreme Court judges and Chief Justice of High Courts related complaints. And Chief Justice of High Court will be dealing with other lower judges. Clear? Okay, now let us see about this in-house procedure. When we came up with this, we adopted in year 1999. And actually it is informal. It is informal. It is not formal. Nowhere in Constitution it is written about this in-house mechanism. Okay. It is an informal peer review process, and we are going to deal with misconduct or complaints related to the judges under this in-house procedure. Okay, you have to remember, informal. In 1999 we adopted this mechanism. And who receives the complaints? I said about Supreme Court judges, High Court justices by CJI, and other court judges by Chief Justice of High Court. Okay, what is the process we'll follow? First one is, we have two members, CJI, and we have Chief Justice of High Court. They will take the complaints and they will check the complaints. And after checking them, then what they'll do? They will constitute a 3-member committee. And the name of that committee is Inquiry Committee. And who will be there in this committee? Judges only will be there, not outsiders. Okay, judges will be there. 3 judges will be the form of that committee. And what they'll do? They will see about the charges, issues, everything. And if they find that the issue is minor issue means just they will call them and just they will warn them. And next one is, if there is any serious misconduct, they will advise them to resign, or they have to go for voluntary retirement. By themselves only they have to go for retirement, or they have to withdraw of judicial work. And after giving this advice also, if they are not listening, then what they'll do? If a judge refuses to resign despite of proven serious misconduct, so now CJI may inform Prime Minister or President to start removal process. And this removal process is there in our Constitution under Article 124 subclass 4. Okay, now if CJI is recommending Prime Minister or President to remove that person, then that process is called as impeachment. Okay, so it is present in our Constitution under which article? 124 subclass 4 for Supreme Court judges. For High Court judges it is article 218. Okay, are you understanding the things? Understand clearly so that you will not do any mistake in the examination. So what is the charges? On proven misbehavior or incapacity. On this ground only we can remove Supreme Court or High Court judge. Okay, and what is the process of removal? And here one more important thing that you have to remember is, removal of judges is there in Constitution under Article 124 and as well as 218. But how we have to remove? What is the process? It is not there in the Constitution. If everything is written, it will become very bulky. Already it is very bulky document. If they are writing anything, everything in point to point, it will become very, very bulky. So what they did is, again, the process is given in Judges Inquiry Act. The process of removal of judges is nowhere written in Constitution. But how can we know what is the process? That is written in Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. So what is the process? So here, if we want to remove this judge, we have to pass a motion. That motion to be supported by the members of Lok Sabha and as well as Rajya Sabha. Here, 100 members of Lok Sabha and 50 members of Rajya Sabha, they have to support. Recently, we discussed about resolution to remove speaker. For that, we said that how many members? At least 50 members required. But at present, what is the opposition party did? More than 120 people they signed for that motion, right? In the same way, if you want to remove this judge, that should be signed by MPs of Lok Sabha and as well as Rajya Sabha. And you have to remember that minimum number. And later on, if they want to remove, if they want to pass it, which majority we need? Special majority in the both the houses. That is nothing but 2/3 of president voting. And if that is passed, then final order will be passed by president, and on that day itself he will be removed. So this is the process, guys. Understanding? Everything in this detail, if you read, means you can do whatever the questions that are coming from the polity point of view. You need a clarity. Okay, now you guys tell me, around 9,000 cases from 9 years, what kind of impact that we can see in the society? If you are reading that kind of articles, these people who will protect the justice, who will deliver the justice, on them only there are charges. Means as a normal public, what will you think? Are you understanding my question? Tell me, what will you think as a normal public? Trust? Will we trust? They only not good. Why will go to them to get justice? Yes, erosion of public trust. Apart from that, can we ensure justice delivery? Next. Come on, think in that way. The first one is incapacity of entire judiciary. Okay, next one here is, because of this kind of reports which are showing high number of cases related to the judges, which raises questions on judicial integrity. And this one is others getting motivated. We normal public, as normal public, will be getting motivated. They are only doing that. Why can't we? We are normal public. So what happens? Entire India will be getting corrupted. No ethics, no values, no integrity, no honesty. And this one here is, because of increase of this kind of case in the recent years, it is eroding the public confidence. And that will say that there is a political nexus between judiciary and as well as executive. So wherever you go, you will not get justice. That kind of thing will be created in our country among the general public. And next one here is, if you are not getting the details on resolutions or outcomes, this is an informal thing. So if everything is publicized, then only people know that even judges cannot do the mistakes. So if normal people is not knowing about this informal mechanism, what happens? There will be no transparency and accountability. And there will be lacking of independence also sometimes. Why? Because in that committee, who are the members? Judiciary only the members. And there is no interference of external people. Obviously, what happens? Have you ever seen one guy, for example, in Telugu I'll tell, ఒక దొంగ ఆ దొంగకు సంబంధించిన కేసుని వాదించి అతనే like if they are giving the justice, if they are delivering the things, can we believe that నువ్వే దొంగ ఇంకో దొంగ గురించి చెప్తున్నావు, పిల్లికి పిల్లి సాక్ష్యం, పిల్లికి ఎలక సాక్ష్యం, like that will say certain kind of things, no? And what happens? Obviously, this kind of independence will be getting affected. And next one here is, it may intensify the debates on reforms of judiciary in future. So all these things are like impacts in the future. Okay. Yeah, say this article, guys. IAF Royal Thai Air Force hold air combat training exercise. It happened on February 9th, and February 9th till 12th it had been done in Indian Ocean region. Write down, IAF Royal Thai Air Force concluded in Indian Ocean region. Okay, let us see the facts here. Indian Air Force and Royal Thai Air Force conducted joint in situ air combat training exercise in Indian Ocean region, and they are focusing on improving interoperability, and as well as they want to strengthen their defense ties. And if you see the highlights of this exercise, first one is, it is happened in this Indian Ocean region, and Indian Air Force is operating from Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Thailand Air Force is operating from Thailand. From those two areas, they went for a training exercise. No need of remembering all this, but you have to remember one point here. Why? Because we want to improve our Act East policy relations, especially deepening of partnership with this Asian countries, okay, as part of this Act East policy, and we have to improve our defense cooperation. And as we all know that we want to increase our aerospace cooperation, aerospace industry in our country. So we have to go for training. If you're training other countries, then only they will know about India's capabilities and India's ability, India's related equipment, advancements, everything. So that we can boost our defense production in our country and defense exports of our country. And next one here is we are focusing on improving of regional security, stability, and freedom of navigation. And even Thailand is very important for Indo-Pacific region for that reason. And especially you have to focus on this, like which are the exercises that we had with Thailand. Army exercises, exercise Maitri, and Navy exercises, exercise Ayutthaya. Ayutthaya, exercise Ayutthaya, exercise Maitri. Please make a note of this too. Okay, online students, sorry following. Okay, see this article, it is about a decisive mandate, it is about India, Bangladesh. So they are asking to see challenges. So especially from this article point of view, you have to see facts about BNP party, and next you have to see what challenges we have between India and Bangladesh and how can we overcome that India and Bangladesh challenges in this future, in this next 5 years. That's it guys, nothing more than that. And they asked about here July Charter. Just I already gave you the notes about July Charter. Just revise that July Charter and what is this referendum. Okay, see this next article guys, overdue upgrade. So this article is talking about new CPI series. So I'll tell you in detail about this new CPI series. So why it is in news? In yesterday's class we discussed that for the first time by using this new CPI series, our MOSPI, Ministry of Statistic and Program Implementation, released retail inflation. What is retail inflation in India in the month of January 2026? 2.75, and we are maintaining in the bracket. What is the bracket we have to maintain? 4 plus or minus 2. That's the thing they mainly said here. And if you see about this new CPI series, why we came up with this new CPI series? Earlier, what was the base year? 2011, right? But now we upgraded it to 2023 to 24. Why? Because in this 15 years of time span, lots of the thing had been changed. Our contribution of different sectors to the economy had been changed, yes. And next one here is we are using more and more online platforms after this COVID-19 pandemic. And next one here is nowadays we are moving towards cleaner energy. Like even if you're buying these fans or any electronic equipments, we are seeing the star rating. Do you know the star rating? 5 star, 4 star, 3 star. Which star is good? 5 star. Why this 5 star is good? They will consume less energy and they will have more maximizing effect, and that will reduce the carbon dioxide emissions. And even today we are going for solar power, wind energy, electric vehicles. And if you go back to 10 to 15 years, do we have any provision of thinking about this electric vehicles at that time? No, everything is changing from last 15 years, and even food patterns are changing. So 15 or 10 years ago, we used to have only homely food. But now you can see we are not eating. Homely food is very occasion. Only for the festivals we are having this homely food. Other times you are going for outside food. So that what happened, the food industry became very, very popular in our country. So here what happened here is from last 15 years onwards, there's a lot of transformation in our economy. How? There is increased share of services, especially IT services are increasing a lot. And nowadays, we are having AI, machine learning, whatever you want, everything we are doing by this technology only. We forgot how to sweep our home also. Our room, everything. We are having robots. We forgot long back ago washing of clothes, especially women. Now we are using this washing machines. Yes, and even nowadays we are getting this washing machine which are even ironing our clothes and just coming out of that machine as a new ones. So because of this, what is happening here? Technology is changing the lifestyle of people, and as well as technology is changing our entire economy as well. So because of this, what is happening here? There is increasing of digital consumption, cleaner fuels. For example, earlier 10 to 15 years ago, if you want to purchase anything, we used to go to the nearby shop. For that, we have to take one auto and we have to go there and we have to pay the charges for the transportation, and we are going to spend around 2 to 3 hours in that so-and-so shopping mall, and we are having some kind of physical exercise, at least we are moving there, working there, and we are coming back. But now what we are doing, just opening our mobiles, and whatever we want, we are checking in 4 to 5 websites, and in which we are finding it is good, we are going and we are just ordering, and that too we will see that delivery of free charges only. We will not order where they are charging extra for delivery, right? So that what is happening here, economy is transforming from one way to another way. And earlier we used to have the money like paper currency or coins, but now if I want to see this coins also, I can see in my children's kiddie bank, but outside my children's kiddie bank I can't see this 1 rupee or 2 rupee coins also. So here that kind of change happened in our economy. So because of this changing of economy, what we have to do, we have to change our indices as well. So because of this, we came up with this new CPI series. And you know about changing of food patterns, you know about expansion of online marketplaces, even in our social media also, we are having the option of doing payment via WhatsApp. We have Paytm services, and even Instagram, it is our social media platform which is used for business more. So because of all these things, yes, we came up with this new CPI series now. Okay, in this new CPI series, we came up based on this household consumption expenditure survey of 2023 to 2024, and we took that and we made certain changes to our new CPI series. First one is, you know, about the base 2011 to 12 to 2023 to 24 base year change. And next one here is we expanded coverage of items. Earlier, we have only 299 goods. Please make a note. Earlier, we used to have only 299 goods. Now that 299 had been increased to 358. In that 358, we have 308 are the goods and 40 are services based on the modern consumption patterns of people. And next one here is, I saw one movie of Vishal recently. I can't recall that name. That movie concept is people will be using certain online platforms to get the plumbers or electricians. I can't recall that movie. It is about crime investigation movie only. On a single day, they will be doing robbery in 50 houses like that. Who will be going to robbery, and they are targeting only old age related homes where only the old age couple will be living, their children will be living outside India. Do you know this movie? I can't recall that movie name. Honest students, if you know, please post the name of that movie. So in that movie, they are using one website. If they want to get any work done in their home, like sweepers or cleaners or plumbers, electricians everywhere, so they can open that website and they can ask the query, and that company will be sending this plumbers. And actually that website of that company had been hacked by one woman, and this woman will be operating all those things. And one day on Independence Day, they planned this 50 attacks. See that kind of movies, huh? Chakra. Okay, I don't know. I can't recall that name. I'll watch movies, but I can't remember the names of the movies. Okay, make the list of these newly added items. They added rural house rent. Before 10 to 15 years in rural areas, no one used to pay the rent. But now in rural areas also, they are giving their homes for rent. Why? Because of rural to urban migration. And this one is online media and streaming services. Now especially we need to have this service, streaming services subscription, right? Hotstar, Netflix. That is very important now. Many people are investing on that. 1 year free, like that. And this one is, nowadays people are focusing more on more protein diet. They are focusing on dairy products, value added dairy products like cheese, butter, because of increased trend of McDonald's, McD trend in India. And next one is barley and related products. Next one is pen drives, external hard disk, because of using of more and more data on online. And next one is attendant and babysitter services. Nowadays, this is increasing a lot because both of the parents, if they are going outside, they are asking for the to take care of the baby. We need baby care. I can give my own example. I also have one caretaker in my house for my babies. And next one is exercise equipment. Because of lack of exercise, we are increasing our body weight, fat deposition. So nowadays, every home is having at least dumbbells, not even hi-fi equipment, but at least dumbbells, treadmills, like that kind of equipments. And this one is we are focusing on cleaner fuels. So these are the new items which had been added in this new CPI series. You may get question in this way. Consider the following items which are the items added in new CPI series. They'll give you 4 to 5 and you have to identify in that. Okay? See that. And what are the items removed? Guess guys, which kind of items can be removed, which are not used by the people nowadays? Radio. Are people using radio? Earlier in villages, radio was very famous. Have you seen this movie Rajanna? In that movie, they show that that girl will be learning songs by using radio. Are we using radio anymore? No. Next, which kind of items can be removed? Which phones? Landlines. Okay. Next, STD boots are not there now. Next, think in that way. Okay, VCR, VCD, DVD players are not using. Tape recorders. And earlier we used to have cassettes. Do you know reel, black color reel? If something is broken, we used to paste with the plaster. I have that kind of experience, but I don't know whether you have that or not. So that kind of cassettes had been removed. And second hand clothing. If everyone has their own income, and what is happening now, fast fashion is increasing, so that we are getting clothes at a very low price. Why people will go for second hand clothing? If someone is giving, even your elder sister is giving you the clothes to wear, just you'll throw on her face, I don't want this, I don't use the second hand. I was in this movie Jalsa. In that movie also they will show about everything related to the second hand books, second hand cycles, second hand clothes. So now no one is using that, right? So even second hand clothing had been removed in this new series. And next one is coil or rope. No one is using rope now. Instead of that, we are using metal related wires. And next one here is whatever the technology which had been outdated, we are not using that because of our lifestyle shift. We are moving away from that. So all these are the items which are removed in this new CPI series. Please, you have to make it note of that. So if you are getting any question related to which of the following items have been included, they will give the combination of the things which are added and as well as these things, so that you should be in a condition to eliminate which are the not part of it. Are you understanding? So in this way you can get a question. Okay, now see the practice questions and try to answer this. First one, with reference to instruments of direct democracy, consider the following pairs. I gave you 3. I said there are the 4, right? I gave you only 3. First one is referendum. Vote on a proposed law or constitutional amendment. Next, initiative, removal of an elected representative before the end of the term. Recall, citizens propose a new law or amendment for voter approval. If you know at least what is the meaning of this word, you can do it. Think on this and tell me the answer. First one, what about this referendum? Why Bangladesh went for referendum? For constitutional amendment? Yes? Next, tell me what about this two. What is the meaning of initiate? Initiate means new initiative, start. Read that. Removal of, and what is recall? Recall. Recall. Recall is something related to removal. Yes. Initiative, propose a new law or new amendment. So these two are interchanged. So one trick that you can use in your prelims is, if you're getting this kind of pair-based questions, they will try to interchange the things. This is a trick that you can use. Okay, you have to identify in that way. If one is interchanged, what will be happen? What will be the answer? Only one. Or if there are 4 pairs, means only 2. So you have to see how many numbers are there, pairs, and you have to see in that if you remove 2, how many will be remaining. In that way, use this kind of tricks in the prelims. Okay, see the next question. Consider the following statements. In the new CPI series, the weight of housing has increased in both rural and urban sectors. The total weighted items in the new basket are 358 at all India level. Prices from online markets are now collected for the first time. Which of the following statement, which of the above statements are right? Come on, think and tell me. Online students, by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching. And if you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. And our academy, we started CSAT last 2 days ago. So if you want to purchase that course, you can contact us on this number 8074765513 guys. Thank you so much.